All right. Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name's Nicole, and welcome back to another English class. For today's session, we will be continuing with our discussion on commonly mispronounced words to different contexts. For this session, we will be focusing on another two categories. I'm sorry, I highlighted the wrong ones. But yes, for today's session, we will be focusing on words that are related to food and school. Yesterday, we've discussed on commonly mispronounced words on another two different contexts. First is on everyday conversations, and then another one is on workplaces. For today, again, I think many of you will enjoy. These are words that are food related and school related. All right. So, as you can see on this screen, I've already edited it. We are continuing our discussion about pronunciation still today. Commonly mispronounced words specifically. Remember last time, right? We talked about some words that are often get mispronounced in everyday conversations and in the workplaces. Now we looked at words like comfortable and colleague, if you remember, yesterday. Well, today, again, we are going to zoom into more specific categories. We are going to focus specifically on food related words and school related words that many English learners sometimes find tricky to pronounce. Now, again, why do these words get mispronounced? I've already mentioned it during the first session for commonly mispronounced words. So we've talked a little bit about why these words can be challenging on the previous session, and it includes reasons like silent letters, stress patterns, vowel sounds, and consonant clusters. There's also voiced and unvoiced. The things that you need to consider, all those things you need to consider, because those are things that contribute to why people mispronounced words on a daily basis. All right. And with that, let's start immediately with food-related conversations. I'm sorry, I think I get this slide wrong for a while. Let me go over the right slide. All right. Okay, this one. Yes. Okay. Let's start with food related words. Now, think about how often we talk about food, right? I think we don't go over our day without talking about any food related words. So, it could be whether we are ordering in a restaurant near our places, talking about our favorite dishes, or even just grocery shopping. Food vocabulary comes up all the time. And because of this, it's really helpful to get the pronunciation of these words right so we can communicate clearly and confidently in those various contexts that I've mentioned earlier and for other contexts that I haven't mentioned, which requires you to say food related words. All right. Let's focus on expanding the text I've already provided for the food words section. I'll go through each word and provide you more details, examples, and asking more engaging questions to help solidify your understanding and pronunciation. All right, let's really delve into these food words that can sometimes trip us. As we discuss these words, let's immediately start with the first word. Listen to me as I say the word salmon. Again, salmon. The first word is salmon. Salmon is a type of fish. Salmon. So it's a popular type of fish. Often this is often enjoyed grilled. There's also baked salmon and or even smoked salmon. You can think about the texture. It's usually quite tender and a bit oily. That's salmon for you. Now, the tricky part of this word when pronounced is the silent L. You've noticed it, right? By the time I mentioned or I pronounced the word, there is no letter L sound in there. I did not say salmon. I said salmon. Salmon. Again, salmon. So the letter L, it's there in the spelling, but we don't pronounce it at all. So it's simply pronounced as, again, salmon. Can you all say salmon for me? Again, salmon. One more time, salmon. Good. Now, imagine you are you are in a restaurant, near at your place. What might you order that includes salmon? Maybe grilled salmon with rice, something like that. Or perhaps you're at the market. What section would you find salmon in? You could find it at, fishes, the fish section. So you could use this particular word in various sentences and in various contexts. Just remember that there is a silent L sound that will make you trip, right? So again, this is not pronounced as salmon. There's no pronunciation of letter L sound here, which is a common mistake of some people. There is a silent L sound. So the L sound is silenced. So it should be salmon. Again, salmon. All right. Next, moving on to vegetable. Again, vegetable. This is a type of food from plants. Now the phonetic spelling, this one, right below the word, that's the phonetic spelling, that's the IPA transcription of this word, vegetable. These are your guide to pronouncing the word. If you are especially not familiar with the word and you are knowledgeable about IPA transcription, it could really help you get through saying the particular words. Now, vegetable, we all know that these are, again, type of food from plants, and these are such an important part of a healthy diet, right? Or as a whole, not only diet, but as a healthy, to just have a healthy body. Vegetable is very important for us to consume. So you can think about all different kinds of vegetables, the leafy greens, root vegetables like carrots and potatoes, and many, many more. All right. Going back, the common mistake here, it says people say it as vegetable. Again, vegetable. Let's try emphasizing the part here. Vegetable. Vegetable. That's how some people say it. They say it incorrectly by saying it as vegetable. But yes, we understand that this word is pronounced as vegetable. Again, vegetable. One more time, repeat after me. Vegetable. All right. Okay, that's good. So when you say the different, for example, for instance, maybe you're just at home and your mother is cooking for you, something like that, or you're cooking for yourself, and you kind of include a particular type of vegetable in your dish. So you could say that particular word when you're talking to another person, with you, eating with you. All right, that's vegetable. Again, vegetable. Next, we have dessert. Again, dessert. One more time, dessert. Again, dessert. Dessert. All right, dessert is a sweet food after a meal. Again, dessert is a sweet food after a meal. So common mistake that people do, they say it as dessert. Like dessert, instead of saying dessert, they say it as dessert. So the mistake here is that they put the syllable stress on the first syllable, the first part of the word, which is des. They say it as they pronounced, or they emphasized the syllable des instead of the second syllable, because that's how we should say it. So they emphasize the first syllable. They say it as dessert. Again, dessert instead of dessert. dessert. Again, dessert. So the stress should be on the second syllable. When we say when we mean dessert as a when we mean something as sweet food after a meal, we say it as dessert. All right, not dessert. Dessert, but not dessert. Not dessert, but dessert. Can you hear the difference, right? Dessert, dessert. Again, dessert, dessert. All right. The correct one is dessert. Second syllable is stressed. Now can you try to say it with me? Let's all say dessert. Again, dessert. With emphasis on the second syllable, dessert. All right. What's a dessert you've enjoyed recently? You can tell me on our chat bot. Any kind of dessert you've enjoyed recently, or maybe you just can type the dessert that your favorite dessert. As for me, I've always like ice cream, as simple as that. Ice cream or cake, something like that. All right, all right. Let's take a look at the next word. We have here pizza. Again, pizza. One more time, pizza. Pizza. Now, pizza is a flat bread with toppings. Again, pizza is a flat bread with toppings. So, this is pizza. Now, the common mistake that people do here is shortening the first vowel sound, like pizza, pizza. But the tip here is just to make a longer e sound. All right, long e sound. So think about saying the word p like p-a-a, p-a, p-e-a, p. It has a similar sound for the first syllable of pizza. So there should be a longer e sound here. So you say it as pizza. Again, pizza. Can you all try saying with that long word p here? A long e word here. Long e sound. Pizza, not pizza. Pizza. That's too short, and you should pronounce it as pizza. Anyway, we still understand pizza. No, we try to understand pizza. We can still understand what we are trying to say when we say pizza. But the pronunciation that is generally accepted is pizza. Again, pizza. Again, pizza. That is how we pronounce this word, pizza. Can you all try saying it again with long E sound? Pizza. All right. Okay. Okay, next we have buffet. Again, buffet. It is obvious in the IPA transcription that it is pronounced as buffet. What have you noticed with how I pronounce the word? You've noticed that there is a silent T. So this is not pronounced as buffet, which is a common mistake with other people. They say this word, especially if they are unfamiliar with the word, they say it as buffet instead of buffet. Now, again, everyone, remember that this word is pronounced as buffet. When we say buffet, it means it is a self-serve meal. This is a self-serve meal. So you often see buffets at hotels or even during special occasions. You can see buffet. Yeah. Then here, again, the common mistake is saying it more like it's spelled. So you say it how it looks like, which is not the case for this word because, again, not all English words, I guess most of the English words is not pronounced how it is spelled like, which is what makes the English words very tricky for us because it's not as easy at it as it might seem to you to pronounce the words because it is not phonetic in a way that you do not pronounce the word most of the time how it looks like, how it is spelled out. So that is not buffet. It is buffet. Again, buffet. Buffet. Like here, the one that I highlighted, that is buffet. 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 So the second syllable, it sounds like fairy. The first syllable in the word fairy. Buffet. Buffet. All right. Let's try saying again the word buffet. One more time. Buffet. All right. Have you been to a good buffet at your place or anywhere that you've gone to? Anywhere you've gone to, have you been to a good buffet? Like what kind of food did they offer, for example? You can tell me on our chatbot. All right. Next up is restaurant. Again, restaurant. One more time. Notice how fast I say some sounds or some syllables in this word. Restaurant. The phonetic spelling is right below, and as you can see, it is res and then trunt. So you pronounce it as like that. Restaurant. So this is a place we visit frequently to, enjoy meals we don't cook at home. So a place to eat, basically. That is restaurant. Now the common mistake here is pronouncing all those vowel sounds distinctly. Some people say restaurant. Again, restaurant. That is not how you say it. You say it as restaurant. Again, restaurant. Follow the IPA transcription for your guide. Restaurant. One more time. Restaurant. You do not say it as restaurant, but you say it as restaurant. Restaurant. A little bit faster at the tau, almost at the middle part of the word. You squished all these letters, these ones, you squished it all together, and then you have restaurant, restaurant, restaurant. Is that all clear? Are we following so far? Everybody following? All right. So the more common pronunciation here, again, it really blends some of those sounds together into just two syllables. They kind of squished some parts of the word. So we get restaurant, not restaurant. Okay, not restaurant, but restaurant. We've got only two syllables, not three syllables. We do not say it as restaurant. We do not say it as restaurant, but restaurant. Again, restaurant. So you might hear, a very soft, quick second vowel sound here, but it's very subtle, very subtle. So restaurant. Let's focus on restaurant. Again, can you all say that? Restaurant. Now think about your favorite restaurant to visit with family or friends. What kind of food do they serve? You can again type it on our chatbot. Finally, we have, this is a bit tricky, I guess. It is also a bit tricky for me by the first time I encounter this word. So this is pronounced as croissant. Again, listen, croissant. One more time, croissant. For the meantime, let me see if my screen is keeping up with me. Yes, it is. All right. Again, this word is pronounced as croissant. One more time, croissant. Again, croissant. It's very fancy to hear, right? So this word is pronounced as, again, croissant. Very fancy way to say a word. All right. Let's see the definition. So croissant is a flaky pastry. I think you're familiar with this one. It's a really delicious pastry. It is often, enjoyed for breakfast most of the time. Usually, it is also enjoyed as a snack. So here, I think we understand that the common mistake people do is that they say it as croissant, croissant. Again, croissant. But because, this word, it comes from French, the pronunciation here is quite different. It's croissant, croissant. Again, croissant. One more time, croissant. So that son, like the second syllable here, it sounds a bit nasal, like it's in here. The sound is coming from our nose, like it's nasal. You are like saying son, son. Again, son, croissant, croissant. But it has like a slightly different vowel. It's not literally just sun, but son, sun, son, son. Croissant. Let's try croissant. One more time. Croissant. All right. Have you ever had a croissant? Everyone, did you have or have you experienced eating a croissant? Croissant. Um, it's very delicious, right? But for me, I really like eating croissant because it's really delicious. It's a delicious pastry, as I've mentioned earlier. But if you haven't tried, please try because I am confident that you will like this particular pastry. You can pair it with, coffee, tea, or any kind of hot drink that you prefer. So that's all. Those are the first set of words that are related to food. So we've spent a good amount of time breaking down these food words. Remember the silent L in salmon, the three syllables in vegetable, the stress in dessert, the long E in pizza, the buffet sound for buffet, the two syllables in restaurant, and then the croissant for croissant. So keep these tips in mind as you encounter these words in your daily conversations about food. Are there any other questions about these food words before we have our practice drill, of course? Are we all clear with this? All right. Let's have a practice drill. It's time to practice what we have learned. All right, this is our practice drill. So it's time for a little practice drill, everyone. You can see the same food words we just discussed earlier, along with their IPA pronunciation and a sample sentence. What I want you to do is very easy. I want you to read each sentence aloud with me. You focus on pronouncing the highlighted food word correctly, which are the words that we've discussed earlier. So you should use the tips that we have just learned, the tips that I have told you earlier for each word. So what I will be doing is I will say each sentence first, and then I'd like you to repeat it on your own. After that, I might ask, if it's clear to all of you, if there are any clarifications that you want me to clarify, of course. All right, ready, everyone? Are we ready for a short practice drill? All right, I guess we are ready. Let's start with the first one. The word is salmon. Salmon. I had grilled salmon for lunch. I had grilled salmon for lunch. Now, everyone, it's your turn. Again, the sentence, I had grilled salmon for lunch. It's your turn. All right. I had grilled salmon for lunch. Excellent. Remember, again, those three, not three syllables, but remember the silent L in salmon. We do not pronounce it as salmon, but we pronounce it as salmon. Salmon, there is silent L in there. Again, the sentence, I had grilled salmon for lunch. Next, vegetable. Vegetable. Eat more vegetables. Eat more vegetables. It's your turn. Excellent. All right, that's correct. Eat more vegetables. Remember the three syllables. This word has three syllables or three distinct sounds only. Vegetables. Next, dessert. 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 We had cake for dessert. Again, we had cake for dessert. Your turn. All right, that is correct. Great. Here, that stress on the second syllable. That should be the proper way to say or to pronounce this word. The stress is on the second syllable. Dessert. Again, dessert. Next, moving on to pizza. Sorry, pizza. One more time, pizza. We ordered a pizza. Again, we ordered a pizza. It's your turn. All right, wonderful. Make sure, everyone, that there is a long E sound in there. So you say it as pizza. We ordered a pizza. Next, buffet. Buffet. We ate at a buffet. Again, we ate at a buffet. It's your turn. Right, that's correct. Very good. We ate at a buffet. Remember, that is buffet. There is a silent T here. Next, restaurant. Restaurant. Again, restaurant. This is a good restaurant. One more time. This is a good restaurant. Your turn. Excellent. That is a good restaurant. So remember, there are two syllables here. Restaurant. And finally, we have croissant. Again, croissant. One more time. Croissant. She ate a croissant. She ate a croissant. Your turn now. Fantastic. Yes. This is croissant. She ate a croissant. All right. Again, let's say the words one more time. Salmon, vegetable, dessert, pizza, restaurant, croissant. Your turn now. Croissant. All right. Excellent work, everyone. You are really paying attention to the pronunciation. So, I hope this practice has helped you be familiar with the pronunciation of these words so that it will become more natural to you. Okay. Does anyone have any questions about any of these words or sentences or the pronunciation, perhaps, before we proceed? I guess there is none. All right, let's proceed to the second set of food words. Okay, let's immediately have the first one. Yogurt. Again, yogurt. One more time, yogurt. Yogurt is a dairy product. So it's a fantastic dairy product, which is often a healthy choice for breakfast. I do that also. I eat yogurt as a breakfast. I paired it usually with fruit or granola or even as a light snack. I eat yogurt as a light snack. So you can think about the textures. Usually smooth and creamy, sometimes a little tangy. So that's yogurt. It's a dairy product. All right. Now the common mistake here is that the "ah" sound is incorrect. People say it as yogurt. Yogurt. Very subtle difference, but it can really impact how you say the word. It's yogurt. They pronounce it as yogurt. But we want the yo sound, not yow, yow, yogurt, not that particular sound. We want the yo sound. Like when you like when you try to greet someone like yo, then you add gurt. So yogurt again, yogurt. Can you all try saying yogurt slowly? Yogurt. One more time. Yogurt. Now a little faster, more natural. Yogurt. Again, yogurt. All right. What's your favorite flavor of yogurt? You can tell me on our chat box. All right. Next up, we have here almond. Almond. What have you noticed upon me saying almond, that there is a silent L. I did not pronounce the sound of letter L. So almond again has a silent L. So almond, by definition, it is a type of nut. No, these are nutritious nuts, which is great for snacking. They are very delicious and they add like a lovely flavor and crunch to many desserts and dishes, all that kind of sorts of things. You can pair or you can put almond in there. You can also think about almond milk, almond butter, and many kind of food that has almond as its ingredient. So we pronounce it again as almond, not almond. People commonly mistakenly pronounce it as almond. Almond, not you do not pronounce it as like that, not almond. Almond, you do not pronounce the letter L sound because again, here there is a silent L. When we say silent L, it is not pronounced. It's just there, but we do not say it actually in the word. So we say it as almond. One more time, almond. Let's all try saying again, almond. All right. Moving on to the next one, espresso. I'm sorry, espresso. One more time, espresso. Very easy, right? You say it, you here it is one of the words, one of the example words that you say a word just like how it looks like or just like how it is spelled like. You can say it as like that. Espresso. Again, espresso. It is a type of coffee. For many this is like a strong shot of coffee, which is kind of essential, to start the day or for to end the day even. So you can think about the rich aroma and the concentrated flavor in there. Now here, the common mistake, you can see that people sometimes add an X sound at the beginning. I've also did that earlier, so I stand corrected everyone. So here, people mistakenly pronounce it as espresso. Again, espresso. That is not the correct pronunciation of this word. It should be no X sound. So we say it as espresso. It starts with a simple S sound. You do not need to complicate it and find another sound. You just say you just say this word as how it looks like, as how it's spelled like. It is spelled as espresso. You say it as espresso because that is how it is spelled like. So this is a very easy word. We do not need to complicate it. We do not need to complicate how it is pronounced. It is just espresso. All right. Now we have nourish. One more time. Nourish. So this verb, it describes the act of feeding or supporting or providing what is needed for our health and our growth. Like how good food nourishes our bodies, something like that. So the common mistake here is saying nourish. 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 That is how you that is not how you pronounce this word. This is basically just nourish. Nourish. But people, yes, there are still some people that can mistakenly, pronounce the word as nourish. Nourish. You say it as nourish. 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 All right. Next, let's look at cuisine. Cuisine. One more time. Cuisine. Now, this word refers to the style of cooking, a particular style of cooking, which is often associated with a specific country or region. So that is cuisine. Cuisine. It has like its own unique flavors and methods. Cuisine. Now, the common mistake is that people do is cuisine. Cuisine. So the sounds are flipped. Instead of cuisine, people usually mistakenly say it as cuisine. Cuisine. The relaxed long E sound is at the beginning. which should not be there. It should be at the second syllable. Cuisine, not this is cuisine, not cuisine. Cuisine, cuisine. The correct one is cuisine. Cuisine. The long E sound should be at the second syllable. Cuisine. All right. So that is the pronunciation of this word. It is kind of tricky considering how it is spelled out, but that is why we should, try to understand how different words can really be pronounced on its own so that there is no room for any misunderstandings. All right, next up is breakfast. Again, breakfast. It is a morning meal. This is such an important, meal to start the day. You can think about the typical breakfast that you have every day. For me, I have like a Filipino breakfast, the typical Filipino breakfast like pandesal, eggs, and coffee. Pandesal is a type of bread. So here, the common mistake that people do is pronouncing it as a two distinct word, like breakfast. Again, breakfast. Breakfast. Break this one. We pronounce it as break, right? And then this is fast. So people, when it is added, people usually say it as how it is said when separated. These words are separated, but then this word is a compound word. When we say it's a compound word, there are two separate words that are joined together and creates a new meaning of a word. Creates a word that has different meaning. So this is breakfast. But then we are used to saying this word as break. Break, a very soft. There is like a diphthong A here. So we are used to that sound. We are used to saying that. So people say it as breakfast. So that is a common mistake. But then as we add these words to make it a compound word, the pronunciation of this word has also changed. So we say it as breakfast. Breakfast. Like break, not break. Breakfast. All right? Are we good with that? Breakfast. All right. Lastly, we have this one. Menu. Again, menu. Menu. This is a list of food items. This is a list of all like delicious food items in a restaurant. In a restaurant, for example. So when you go to a restaurant, you will usually get a menu. So here, the common mistake is people say it as menu, 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 menu. Sorry, I think I have typed it wrong. But yes, people say it as this one. Menu. Oh my god. Sorry for that. That is menu. People say it as how it looks like. Menu. Menu. But the correct pronunciation here, as also seen in the IPA transcription, is menu. Again, menu. So the letter Y sound is written in the IP transcription as the letter J. So we pronounce it as menu, not menu. Not the pronunciation is not how it looks like. So we say it as menu. All right. That is the last word that is related to food. Let's go through all those words again. Yogurt, almond, espresso, nourish, cuisine, breakfast, menu. Okay. Now we've gone through another set of tricky food words. So again, as I've always reminded you, remember to pay attention to the silent letters, the vowel sounds, the consonant clusters, and even the stress patterns. So consistent practice is always the key, everyone. You just need to practice and practice so that it will sound more natural as time goes by. Do you have any further questions about any of these words, or we'll just proceed with the practice drill? Let's have a practice. I guess let's immediately go to practice drill. Same pattern. I'll say it the word and you say it with me also. All right. First, yogurt. Yogurt. I eat yogurt every morning. Again, I eat yogurt every morning. It's your turn now. Excellent. Yes, I eat yogurt every morning. Remember that the first vowel, the first syllable sound is yo. Yo, not you, but yo sound at the beginning of yogurt. I eat yogurt every morning. Next, almond. Almond. She eats almonds as a snack. She eats almonds as a snack. Together, she eats almonds as a snack. Your turn now. Very good. Keep the letter L silent. Almond. Next, espresso. Again, espresso. He ordered an espresso. He ordered an espresso. Your turn. Excellent. All right, that is he ordered as an espresso. So no X sound here, everyone. Next, nourish. Nourish. This soup will nourish you. This soup will nourish you. All right, your turn. Wonderful. Remember to say nourish. This soup will nourish you. Moving on to cuisine. Cuisine. She loves Italian cuisine. She loves Italian cuisine. Your turn now. Very good. That is cuisine. Next, breakfast. Breakfast. I had eggs for breakfast. I had eggs for breakfast. Your turn. Very good. Breakfast. I had eggs for breakfast. And finally, check the menu, please. Check the menu, please. Your turn. Fantastic. There is a longer O sound at the end. Menu. All right, you all sound really good, everyone, I bet. So it's clear you're focusing on these pronunciations, and that was excellent for you. You're all making great progress with these words that are related to food. So remember to carry this awareness with you and do consistent practice. All right, let's have the next category, which is words that are related to school. We're shifting our focus in here. So as many of you are English language learners or perhaps have family members who are in school, this vocabulary is also very important as it comes up quite often if you are in those situations. So let's take a look at some words that are commonly mispronounced in this category. First, we have a subject, mathematics. Again, mathematics. This is the study of numbers. Now, people usually pronounce it as mathematics. Mathematics. So, they tend to cut off some syllable. But here, the proper pronunciation of this word is that you should say all syllables clearly. So, it is mathematics. Again, mathematics. Your turn. All right, that's good. Mathematics. Again, mathematics. You say all syllables clearly. Next, science. One more time, science. Science, the study of the natural world, which is another subject. So people pronounce it as science. Science, which is, I think it's already accepted, but generally, people accept this word as pronounced as science. So we should follow that as much as possible. Science. One more time. Science. Next, moving on to schedule. There are two pronunciations as you can see on the IPA transcriptions. There are two IPA transcriptions that I have provided here. These are for a minute, for a while. I think my slide is not working well. For a while, everyone. All right, it's all good. Let me go back to, yes, this is the proper slide. All right. Sorry for that. Going back, schedule has two pronunciation. There are two pronunciations that I've provided. We have first schedule, schedule, like schedule. So that is the first pronunciation, schedule. We use this pronunciation usually on British English. This is a British English pronunciation for this word, schedule. The US counterpart is schedule, schedule. Now this word means a plan of time. So like a class schedule or a class schedule. Now the common mistake that people might say, even though I've already provided two different versions of pronunciation for this one, people say it as schedule, 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 which is very far from how it should be pronounced. It's not close to either of these sounds that I've provided. So, as we discussed earlier, the correct pronunciation should be schedule, as in British English, or schedule in American English. Next, we have university. University. This is a place of higher learning. People usually say it as university. Like there is an A sound there. University. Now, to clarify, the stress should be in the third syllable, and then you should say it as ver, not var, not university, but university. One more time. University again. University. All right, that's good. Next, we have assignment. Again, assignment. This is a task given to complete, like homework. That is assignment. The common mistake here is that the people say it as assignment. For some reason, they say it as assignment. So, everyone, in this word assignment, there is a silent G sound. So the G in the middle is not pronounced. So we say it as assignment. Assignment. So like sign, not sing, sig, sign. Okay? Assignment. Very good. Next, we have history. Another, I think it's also considered as a subject, but also a general word as all in all. History. This is the study of the past. So we're talking about the subject here. History is study of the past. The common mistake people say is that it is history. History. Sometimes shortening the syllables, they do that. They say history instead of history. So the tip provided is that you should say all three syllables here. You do not shortcut. You do not shorten the syllables of this word. You should say it as history. You say it how it looks like. In this case, you say it as how it is spelled, like history. All right. Next, student. Student. One more time. Student. There is also another two versions of pronunciation for this word. First is student. Next is student. One more time. Student. Next is student. So when we say student or student, this is someone learning, like you. You are an English. You are my students. You are my students. You are here to learn English, to improve, to alleviate your English skills. Most specifically, we are improving or developing your English pronunciation skills right now. So you are a student, a diligent student. All right. People usually say it that there are some people who commonly mistake it as student. Student. Again, student. Which might have like a subtle difference with the second pronunciation that I've mentioned earlier, student. But yes, no matter how subtle the mispronunciation is, you still need to try to correct how you say the particular word. So you say it as student or student. Student or student. All right. Okay. We have looked already at 7 common school-related words and some of the typical pronunciation mistakes here. So, anyone have initial questions about any of these words, or let's proceed immediately with practice drills? I guess we can proceed to practice drills. Okay, same pattern. I'll say the word and a sentence, and you say it with me after. I say it after with me. Next, these are the 7 words that we have already discussed earlier. First, we have mathematics. Again, mathematics. I like studying mathematics. I like studying mathematics. Remember to pronounce all the syllables clearly. All right, very good. Science. Science is my favorite subject. Science is my favorite subject. Your turn. Very good. Make sure to say both syllables. You say it as science. Science. Next, schedule or schedule. Schedule or schedule. Check your class schedule or check your class schedule. Your turn. Great. That's good. All right. You can use either schedule or schedule. University. University. She goes to university. She goes to university. Your turn now. Wonderful. Stress that third syllable, that university. Okay. Assignment. Assignment. Finish your assignment today. I did not highlight it properly. Finish your assignment today. Your turn. Very good. Remember the silent G sound here. Assignment. Next, history. History. We study world history. Again, we study world history. Your turn. Excellent. You say all 3 syllables here. All right. History. Next, student or student. Student or student. The student asked a question. The student asked a question. Your turn. Okay, fantastic. Use that correct vowel sound, all right? There are 2 versions of these words. Student, student. Okay. All right, those are the first set of school-related words. And you are all doing a fantastic job so far with your pronunciation today. And it's really great to hear you focusing on these mispronunciation. Let's add that words that you've learned already for school-related words to another set of school-related words. The same category. Let's continue. Let's have first teacher. Teacher. Again, teacher. So this is someone who teaches. That is what you call as a teacher. Someone who teaches. Like me, I can call myself as a teacher. I am teaching you how to pronounce commonly mistakenly pronounced words in their correct pronunciation, proper pronunciation. Okay. The common mistake here is some people pronounce it as teacher. 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 Okay. Teacher. So you should pronounce it as teacher. Alright? Teacher. No, there is no diphthong sound in the second syllable. Unlike the pronunciation that is provided for common mistake. There is a diphthong sound there. Now the proper pronunciation, there's no diphthong. You just say it as teacher. Teacher. Next, exam. Exam. Exam is basically a test. Now the common mistake here, people say it as they start with an X sound, but the tip here, it should be ig. Ig. There's no X pronunciation, or there's no X sound there. Unlike how it looks like there's an X, but yeah, when you pronounce it, there should not be an X sound here. So you should not say it as exam, but you say it as exam. Exam, like the letter G, then followed by letter Z. Exam. Okay. Next, certificate. 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 This is a document of achievement. So the common mistake people say is that certificate. Kate. sometimes with the stress in the wrong place. Certificate, 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 certificate. So you should stress on the second syllable, like certificate, certificate, and the T sound. You should say it as certificate, certificate, not certificate. All right? Okay. Next word is grammar. Grammar. So this refers to language rules. People commonly mistake it as grammar. Grammar. Like an E sound in there. Grammar. So they often add an extra E sound at the end, which should not be done. It should be just an A sound in there. Like grammar. Grammar. So this is also another example of saying the word correctly as how it should, as how it looks like, or as how it is spelled like. Grammar. Very easy. Grammar. Next, scholarship. Again, scholarship. This is money for education. Scholarship. Now, sometimes people say it as scholarship. Scholarship. One more time. Scholarship. Which is, of course, wrong. Scholarship. Because the stress here is on first syllable, like scholarship. Scholarship. Very subtle difference, but you should always take note of that. Lastly, we have Anna, second to the last. Principal. Principal. This refers to the school head and other people inside an educational institution or an educational setting. Principal. Principal. Now, the common mistake is people say it as principal. The word principal, they mistakenly pronounced principal as the same as principal because they look the same. They're very much similar to each other. So they tend to confuse it with that word, which means this word means basic truth or rule, right? So that's principal for you. But then we are referring to a school head. And when you mean school head, you pronounce it as principal. Principal. All right. So it's different from principals. Principal, which is something that it might be confusing to other people because yes, principal is a real word. I'm sorry, I stand corrected. It's a real word, and then there is a distinct definition of that. So it's quite similar in how it looks like with principal. So people confuse these two words. Lastly, we have curriculum. One more time, curriculum. These are the subjects that are studied in a school or in a university. Now, the common mistake here is that people say curriculum. Now, the proper way to say it is you should say the first syllable as Q. Curriculum. So that second C here is, and I'm sorry, I stand corrected. The Q sound should be at the the third, the third syllable. So it should be curriculum. People mistakenly pronounce it as curriculum, but we should properly say it as it should be, which is curriculum. Curriculum. That's how it should be. So that's the end of the set of words, and I think that's also the last word for school related words. Let's run through and say the words again. Teacher, exam, certificate, grammar, scholarship, principal, curriculum. All right, let's immediately have a practice drill for these words because I know that and I am confident that you learned all these words really well on your own too. Okay, same process. First, teacher. The teacher is kind. Your turn now. Good. The teacher is kind. So there should be a ch sound there. Okay, remember that. Exam. Exam. We have an exam tomorrow. Again, we have an exam tomorrow. Your turn now. Very good. We have an exam tomorrow. So we start with an ig sound. There is no an X sound here. Next, certificate. Certificate. He received a certificate. Again, he received a certificate. Your turn now. All right, great. Great job, everyone. So here, you should stress the second syllable, tif, the tif. So you should say it a certificate. Next, grammar. English grammar is tricky. That is true. Again, English grammar is tricky. Your turn. All right, very good. English grammar is tricky. Grammar. All right. Scholarship. She got a scholarship. Your turn. That is good. Stressing the first syllable should be the trick here. Scholarship. Principal. Principal. The principal gave a speech. The principal gave a speech. Your turn. All right, excellent. Remember, principal, not principal. It's different. Those are different words. Principal means truth, something like that. And principal is the school head. So, principal. Lastly, curriculum. Curriculum. This is part of the curriculum. This is part of the curriculum. Your turn now. All right, very good. Say curriculum. Curriculum with that Q sound on the third syllable. Curriculum. Very good. All right, everyone, you've all done a really commendable job with these, school related words as well as the food related words. So your pronunciation is becoming clearer and more accurate as days pass by, as more sessions pass by also. So, I again, yeah, I am very impressed with how you progress so far. That was excellent of you. You should all feel very proud of the progress you've made with both the food related and school related vocabulary, as well as the vocabularies on yesterday's session on your everyday conversation and workplaces. So you should all be proud of your progress, and remember to keep practicing these words and pay attention to pronunciation in your daily English conversations or any kind of communication. So let's take a moment to quickly review the words that we have encountered, the common mistakenly pronounced words in various settings for food related words and school related words. Let's just run through it very quickly as we can. You can just repeat after me on your own. Let's start. For food related words, we have salmon, vegetable, dessert, pizza, buffet, restaurant, croissant, yogurt, almond, espresso, nourish, cuisine, breakfast, menu. For school-related words, we have mathematics, science, schedule or schedule, university, assignment, history, student or student, teacher, exam, certificate, grammar, scholarship, principal, curriculum. So those are the words that we have encountered for today. So let's try to bring this session to close as it's already an hour. So today again, we focused on commonly mispronounced words in two important categories. We've talked about food-related words and school-related words. For our food-related words, this is the first. These are the ones highlighted. Those are the food-related words. And then these are the school-related words. All right. So we practiced saying these words individually and also in sentences. And I'm very impressed with your effort and how much you've improved your pronunciation throughout this session. So remember again, everyone, pronunciation is, a journey, and every little bit of practice really can help you become a more confident and effective English speaker. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's part of learning. I too have also a fair share of many mistakes as I am learning English. Even now, as I am confident with my English, there are still some times that I make mistakes. So don't be afraid of that because, yes, again, that is part of your improvement, of your growth, of your learning. Now, the key here is just, to be aware of these common challenges and to keep practicing. Practicing is always the key. Consistent practice. You just do consistent practice, everyone. So you can try to pay attention to how native English speakers pronounce these words in movies, TV shows, online videos, or just a simple conversation can always do. So you can also use online dictionaries that provide audio pronunciations to help you. Internet is free as long as you have the data, as long as you have the Wi-Fi. You can always access different information. You can always access different audio pronunciations of the words that you might have difficulty in pronouncing. All right. Thank you all for your active participation and your willingness to learn. I hope this session has been helpful for you. Keep up the great work and I look forward for our next discussion, which is on common mistakenly pronounced words still, but on the last two different contexts. So do you have any final questions before we finish? Any questions? Everything's clear for today? Are we all clear? All right, that's all for today, everyone. Have a wonderful night ahead. Goodbye.